Yeah, if you're watching, you're getting dizzy with me trying to figure out my camera. So I just have got to figure out. I know I've done it before. Oops. There we are. I keep hitting the wrong button on my computer. Way wrong button. Sorry. I am trying to get my camera the right direction so we can tangle on this piece. And for some reason, my camera doesn't want to focus. I just need to mirror it, and I don't. And I just can't find out how to mirror the device. So just be patient with me just a minute. And let me see if I can't figure out how to do this. You get to watch me go through my all my stuff on my computer. And then I'll open my camera again. And I think that's what I want. Oh, goodness. It just doesn't want to do the right direction. For some reason, I have. Well, I see there's like 7 here, and it's just amazing that we'll get that many. So I'm going to try it again, see if I can't figure out with it open. So I can't figure out how to get it going the right direction. Okay. And now we want to rotate. Well, it doesn't want to do it. And we can't have it going backwards. It's weird. Well, hi. I'm just trying to get this thing fixed. Let's see if it will. Woohoo. There, we don't want to do that. We'll just keep it. Well, I'm glad you guys are patient with me and allow me to do some crazy stuff. It just doesn't want, well, we're just going to have to go and have it go backwards. And I can draw because the tangle isn't going to be that much difference. It's just me looking at it is going to be a little on the strange side. So you're seeing the tangle piece, and you can print this out on my website. And we're just going to tangle around it with some fun tangles. And I taught tangle yesterday and it posted. So if you saw this one, and I taught it in class, and we thought it looked a lot like holly. And so, but anyway, we're going to start right now. I have started with Dura by Damie CZT17. And if I could figure out if anyone knows where the setting is for flipping this and want to message me, they surely can. And maybe I can fix it so it's not backwards, because it's kind of weird backwards. So you're welcome to send me a message. So, but we're going to go ahead and tangle on the piece. And as I struggle here to see what I can do to get this going the right direction. And I do not see how I can get it going the right direction. So we'll just go full screen. Oh, you guys are going to just, what? She's just, okay, let's get started with a tangle, dura. And to me, this is a lot like 1, 2, 3. And so I will probably combine them a little bit. And you start, the reason I think it's like 1, 2, 3 is it's just a little simple. And I'm just going to go right along the edge of this, of the P. And you just make a shape, you know, let's see if I can get my camera a little bit. There we go. A little teardrop, and then you come right without lifting your pen off. You come back up, and then around the top, and then another one. So it's just a slow version, and then there's 2. You want to just bring your pen and come back up and go over. And you can do this so you have 3 strokes over or 4 strokes over or whatever strokes over. And it kind of has an echoey heart. And I think that it probably needs to be filled in, because when I do, or even given some weight on one side, because I've given it weight on one side and I've filled it all the way in. Now, if you're not familiar with my tangle bits 1, 2, 3, it's similar. So it's 1, and then I fill it in. 2, 3, and that's it. So it's just 1, 2, 3. And so you can see how dura is a lot like 1, 2, 3. And is it backwards for all of you on there? Can anyone just chat with me and tell me if it's still backwards? I've not seen very many. So we'll get this under here that we're going to just do a couple of more duras just up here, and you can stack them. So I, like, and you want to bring that pen all the way in when you write at this point, so it comes all the way in and touches that first. It gives it some drama and just has a nice look for it. Do it so that it hollybaws behind. I kind of went over that one just a little. Now I need to go back and fill this in. And a lot of times when I do a piece like this, I don't have preconceived ideas of what I want to put on here, but I just know that I'm going to do just something. And and I will just come in and add little bits of embellishment. This one, I like the embellishment that was done on the step outs, and they're just little teardrops or splashes out. And you can do a lot with this tangle, and we could even color this tangle. So the next tangle that I want to do is the one I did for yesterday's video, and it's called oh goodness, wouldn't you know, I don't have the name of it right here with me. Elance, I believe that's what it's called, is elance. And I'm just going, because I think it looks, I'm just going to take a portion of it. You saw how it was done. I'm just going to take a portion of it, and I'm going to come out from my E, and I'm just going to do these scallop, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm just going to, so that kind of comes into there. Then I'm going to do a stroke so that comes down and meets in the center. And I just trust myself that what I put something there that it will, I can make it look good. What is the motto in Zentangle? No mistakes, only opportunities. Well, that's kind of like what I would do. Is it's just an opportunity to see what works out. And here is Dura. You can see that I put a little color on it. I don't see the color that well on my computer, but I put a little color. And so you can see how I've just taken that tangle idea, and now I'm going to do another one. So just those little pointy things. And then I'm going to come back. And this is a very skinny one. And so we're going to see how this one works because it's so thin. And this time I'm not going to do the very middle one. I'm just going to leave that. And you can see that even that thin, just taking a part of one tangle and pulling it apart and using that in your tangle. I gave my class yesterday and you can download these. I'm sure they're on my Facebook. A whole bunch of things that I popped out and made them single so that they could be like little just little ideas of what you could do. So I'm going to lay that there so I can look to see what kind of ideas. We talked about some of them that we hadn't done for a long time. And then I like to, just I will add circles. My library class, they know if I don't add a few little orbs to something, there's something wrong with me because I will add orbs all the time. I love orbs. And so I love to use them. I was trying to get my camera to switch. It's still bugging me. Isn't that terrible when something bugs you and you can't? Oh, it looks fine. Okay, Lonnie, that's great. Oh, you see it fine on your side. Okay, thank you, Angela. That is great to know. And Judy, yes, Elance. So, but you can see how fun that is to just kind of go along there. I'm going to just go in here and take a few of my favorite tangles and see how I can put them together. I think I'm going to take a few more 1, 2, 3s and just put them right here, just coming out in this little tiny space. And the template that you download, you can download one that is printed all the way in, or you can download one that has you tangle in the spaces. And I'm also offering a new that you can get them printed if you don't have a printer, and I ship to you. So that's just something new. And but we are just tangling along and seeing what we can come up with. I'm going to do beach. I'm pretty sure that's, and it's an easy tangle. Maybe it's called boundary. I really do not know what the name of this one is, but it's got an organic look. So we just take and make an S shape. So and I kind of weighted it on both ends, a very slight S shape. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to uh, do a kind of a fat aura for it and another one on this side. And then you can do, just enhance it. I believe that the one who did it first did some enhancing. I don't know how she did it, but one of my favorite ways to enhance it is to just give it a little weight like that on the inside and then come and stroke this, stripe it. So that it's striped. And I'm going to put these so they all kind of join together. And I will use some tangles that help join things together. And one of my favorite ones that kind of I like to have join things together is poke root or poke leaf. It can fit into very small spaces and has a wonderful look to it. So you can see that I've just put a little poke root coming out. Well, it looks like more like poke leaf coming out and working its way into the little crevices of your tangle so that you have it, just so it looks like the piece is really setting on a bunch of organic items. I'm going to do one right here. And that's kind of a fun way to fill up those spaces with something, little different. Um, I also like to do just the basic tangles. Uh, and one of my basic tangles that I think that I like to do, and I'm going to flip this so it's going this direction. So I'm not putting my hand on what I've drawn. And so I'm going to do a little anisu, and it's just a teardrop that is got a little what do I call that, aura in it. So it just auras around. So I'm going to do it again. You come down, you've got that teardrop, then you just aura. I think when I aured it underneath, I did it a little backwards. And I'm going to just add some little orbs in here to kind of keep that one down, to attach it. So we'll do a few more anisu. Just the teardrop and then aura and give it a little weight. And it looks great coming out from under that P. It looks really fun. So I'm just going to keep drawing, and you're welcome to stay with me or not, um, or go get your pens and draw along so you remember. Um, so another one that I really like to put in things, but I'm not sure. Well, I'm just looking over all my tangles and trying to think what would I want to put in here. And I usually just go back to my standbys so that they, you know, it's just one of those things that happens is you just end up with your standby tangles. I need to put something up in here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and finish doing some 1, 2, 3s up in here. And sometimes I color that in before, and sometimes I wait until after I've drawn it and then I color it in. And we're going to do some that holly bar underneath. Oh, I did that one backwards. And sometimes that happens to me. I'm not thinking and I'll draw really big and then I just do it backwards so that it comes up. I'm not going to go up any further than that. Now I want to have something that goes here along the bottom. And one of my really fallback tangles is I love muka. And so if you do a muka, there we go. And that's just part of a muka. I love stems and organic things. So I love the viney look. So that's a start of what I'm going to put underneath here. Let me see the time. Oh, we've been on 15 minutes. I could keep going for hours and hours. When it's only been 15 minutes. And but I'm just going to draw and see what I come up with. Now, these could be capped off like this. I'm just going to color this part in, and then it changes it. It's really not Muka. It's Springer. So it, if you want it to have that organic look, there you go. It's got that organic look to it. And I think I'm just going to use these tangles that I've on here already and then just enhance it as I go along. I'm going to do another one here. And I'm pretty sure it's breach. Breach. And every one of these tangles that I'm doing today can be found on one of my YouTube channels if you just search for them. So, and I always like to do sets of 3. Did you see how my S was a little bit lazy there? And that one is doing the holly bar. I love things that holly bar underneath. I think it adds so much to when you do a group tangle to have it holly bar underneath something. Do that holly bar effect because it gets those non well, the people who don't do Zentangle will want to do it because they can't figure out was that done, and you tell them it can be done with 3 strokes of the pen or less, most of these things, and then the patterns are just combined. So, and another one of my favorites, and I think it adds interest to everything, is fescue. So if I wanting to dress up something like a template that I'm working on, I will add fescue. because you can make it straight, you can give it a little curl, and another one that I really like is oh, I hate it when I go completely blank and I can't think of um because Rick draws it one way and Maria draws it another. Flux. I love flux because flux can be done just tiny, you know, a little tiny little thing like this, and or it can be done larger. But you can see how, oh, it's off camera. You can see how just that little tiny thing just adds a lot to your tangles. It's going to be something I add now, I'm sure, for a while. So let's do a little shading on this, and I'm going to use today a of just a dark green color pencil, and any color pencil will work with this, unless it's, you know, like water based. I have some ink tints color pencils and they are water based, and so these are wax. So in order to do what I do to them, they have to have that wax base. And now I'm just going to add a little color right up here, write it down along that little scalloped edge. And I'm laying down I'm pretty hard to lay down a lot of color. And the paper is just a cardstock, and I have to get one that's light enough to go through my printer. So 90-pound or 100-pound, they will go through my printer if I tell my printer that I'm using an shiny or heavier paper. Okay, I just dipped my shading stump in my odorless paint thinner. And now I'm just blending that color out. You can kind of hear it scratching on my and I like to blend until you don't see the line of pencil that I drew. I would rather have white than see that line. So I really try to blend it away. If it starts not wanting to blend away, I usually put a little bit more odorless paint thinner on so it will blend out. And you can see just adding a little bit of color is going to make a big difference. And I will also use a French gray because I like to add a little dark shadow to some things. And so I'm going to add a little French gray in here. And it will just add a little darkness to it. Another thing that you can do is that you can get your jelly rolls out. And I'm looking for well, I have a dark green and it's got a little sparkle in it. And I am going to just fill in my orbs that I've got with a little dark green. This is almost I don't know, it's just, and maybe I should have done those in a red, but so let's look at how we can shade this one over here. And I have to turn and be careful I don't put my hand in that until it dries completely. And I'm just going to color in that center piece that I did not color with that French gray. And then I'm going to blend it. And I just blend it out so that it doesn't show the pencil line. And then I can come back in with my green and, you know, do a little color of green in here. And just give it a smidgen of green. And sometimes I do it right by it. That one I did right by. And sometimes I will go so there's a white on the outside of it. Now I'm going to take my shading stump back here. And this is quite a large shading stump. I probably need to use one of my smaller ones. But I am just going to, because I did that dark green in the center, I can blend it out and the others will look a little paler green. And I'm just going to blend it all the way up in. I am using an odorless paint thinner. And oh, someone just asked me. I don't read very often. Let's see. It was Shauna. No, let's see. No, is Lonnie. I've always wondered how you choose tangles that complement each other. Well, when I'm doing a piece like this, I will pick organics. And I figure that any organic tangle will complement. And I should show you my I did one and I put a tangle in that didn't complement. And I knew when I went to put it in that it wasn't going to complement it. And I put it in anyway. And I was really upset with myself that I put it in. I'm going to come back in here and just blend. I turned it around and I decided it needed, I'm just going to blend it all. And you have to be careful that odorless paint thinner will discolor your or blur your ink. So you want to make sure that that is dry. So, oh, Dawn, I understand that watercolor pencils, you know, I'm not a good controller of watercolor pencils, and so that's why I don't use them. But you want to use what you feel comfortable in. So I'm glad I should practice more with watercolor pencils. Um, they do blend well. You can get a really nice blend with them. So, I understand that. And I am going to take a little bit of red and I am going to just take and put a little red in here just to complement this piece. And then I'm probably going to bring down some red in here. I have blended. Okay, I'm going to stop here for a second. When my shading stump gets kind of icky, I will take an emery board and I will clean it off with an emery board. And that also takes care of the color. And so I can reuse it, especially when I'm using charcoal. I mean, yeah, a graphite pencil. It really gets on there thick. And if I don't want as much graphite on, I will clean it off halfway through so that I can get as much graphite. But I won't put graphite on a piece that I'm going to use for something because it tends to smear a little. And so And you can see how you can they really don't blend together, but I just want to add a little color to that. And I want this to be a little darker. So I'm going to take my gray, and like I would use my graphite, I put that little gray in there. And to me, it looks a little brown, but that's okay. You know, it says it's French gray, but it can look a little bit on the brown side. And um, well, thanks, Denise. It was just one of those things that I do. You know, I just decided I would go live today. I um, I finally got back tangling on a regular basis, and I feel so much better, just physically and mentally. So I am going to come down here, and I am going to add a few more tangles that run out this way. So I want them to kind of come out of the lettering. So I'm going to do another Muka, and always coming back. I worry that it's going to look a little wobbly. Oh, you didn't even get to see it. I was off the camera. Sorry. Always worries that it's going to look a little wobbly when I come back, and especially when I've got a really long one. But I've decided that it's okay. Now this one's going to come under. And I did get a little bit of a, a kink in that, but I just went with it. And so this time I am going to just take my little, these might end up to be my new orbs instead of, I'll use little tiny, I get flux, little tiny flux coming up the stem. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put these in to these to Springer. I really did that Springer different, but you know, you can, that's the beauty of Zentangle, is that you do it your style. No two artists are going to be the same. They're not going to do things the same. And so it just doesn't matter. One thing that my all my friends said yesterday, that I love white jelly rolls, and I love the little dots that they can make. And so I've got my white jelly roll, and I love what it can do on your tangle. So I can put a few white jelly roll dots on my lettering. It kind of softens the lettering and makes it, you know, like, I don't know, gives it a little bit more interest. And I probably won't go all the way around. I will just do a few. Just to give it some interest on there. And so we're getting, it's working, and we're getting close to whether or not what do I do more, and how do what do I do with 1, 2, 3? I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to color my 1, 2, 3 with a little red. Because I hadn't done anything, I hadn't done any shading with them. I'm just going to put a little red color pencil in there and then blend it just so that they go down. And I really don't like this shading stump. I'm going to have to find me a different. I prefer the little tiny shading stumps. That I have some big ones, but my preference are these little ones. They're not. You can see how this is this one's big and fat, and this one's a small. And I really prefer that this size. I can hold on to it better, and I can control it better. I too like the freedom that this, Dawn said I love the freedom of this art form. And I too love this freedom of this art form that just allows you to do whatever you like and however you like. That I love the fact that Rick and Maria said, what are the rules in Zentangle? The first rule is there are no rules, and all other rules refer back to that. And I so believe that there are no rules. There's no, you can't do that. You got to do this. It's such a relaxing idea to know you can do whatever you want to do. So I'm going to take I was just looking at this, and I'm going to take my poke root, and I'm just going to bring it. One thing about poke root is it can just wind in and about anything. So if you wonder about how do I make the tangles, how do I choose whatever it is? I just think, well, I look at my picture and I think, what would entwine in with that? And I always go back to the basic tangles and know that if I start to feel like I'm lost or I don't know what to do, I go back to basics. And it's kind of fun to have them go wild. And I'm going to go down in just like one, just all of a sudden they sprout down into the sea. So you can see I could just keep going. And this video could be like 5 hours instead of just 30. I might continue to draw, and I will post some pictures of this one on my Facebook group. So thanks for joining me. I've enjoyed our lifetime together, even though I thought my picture was backwards. It looked like it to me. You guys all clarified that it looked fine to you. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And I have new videos on usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we'll have to see what we're going to do Tuesday. And don't forget about the Tangle A Day book. I am sold out. But in the link below, you can get a link to the brother space, .com's, and I put a link to get this book if you're interested. And I'm excited that they chose me 2 years in a row. That was really quite a honor. So thanks again for watching, and have a fantastic day.